Dr. Dampat Ram Agrawal, Dr. Purushottam, Mr. Sarkar, Dr. Marandro, Professor Ravat Ranjan, Dr. Satish Reddy, Mr. Safu, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and pleasure to speak in this important seminar on technology transfer as a tool to optimize intellectual property and innovation. As most of you know, a historic sustainable development agenda has unanimously adopted in September 2015 by the 193 member states of the United Nations. This agenda is comprised of 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets to end poverty by 2030 and pursue a sustainable future for the world over the next 15 years. Science, technology, and innovation has been recognized as an important vehicle and means to achieve sustainable development goals. Toward this endeavor, a technology facilitation mechanism has been launched by the United Nations, which will bring together multi-stakeholders, including member states, United Nations system, civil society, private sector, and academia. This initiative is aimed at increasing the creation and use of innovation and technologies that will help achieve the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development. We are living in the rapidly changing world, where new technologies and disruptive innovations are emerging. For example, the use of digital information such as big data, the Internet of Things, massive open online courses, three-dimensional printing and digital automation are transforming our way of life and changing the landscape of different industries. New and emerging technologies such as renewable energy, nanotechnology, climate-smart agriculture, and biotechnologies have the potential to address global challenges such as climate change, clean water, food safety, enhancing agricultural production, prevention of diseases, and affordable health care. India and other countries in Asia-Pacific region are in increased need to foster homegrown innovation to develop sustainable solutions to acquire and adapt appropriate technology. The region is born as an engine of innovation and technology development, as well as enormous market for technology products and services, which is growing every year. There exists a mixture of advanced economies, countries in transition, and developing countries, which is unique here. This leads to great opportunities for regional South-South cooperation in technology transfer, innovation, and sharing of best practices. The impact of technology transfer is not limited to economic development and job creation, but it can help us address some of the biggest challenges of the 21st century: food insecurity, climate change, urbanization, environmental degradation, natural resource management, which all challenges have the technology-based solutions. There are critical areas which can have a great impact of environmental protection, food production, quality of life, and healthcare, to mention just a few. Currently, main mode of international technology transfers are through licensing and other form of formal technology trade, collaborative R&D, trade, foreign direct investment, movement of people, and through cross-border information flows, such as through online patent database. In particular, patent protection helps resolve some of the barriers toward successful technology transfer. Patent codifies and discloses technological information of an invention. Firms may be more willing to enter licensing negotiations if they are assured that they maintain control over their technologies. At the same time, it may or may not be in the interest of the patent owner to transfer their technologies. In that sense, exclusive rights may pose an obstacle to technology diffusion. However, much depends on business models and the availability of substitute technologies, which differ significantly across industries. There exist special characteristics of markets for technology. In other words, trade in technology is different compared to trade in goods and services. Firstly, such technology transfer involves not only the transfer of the technology itself, but also know-how or reproducing such technology, which is often not codified and may thus be more difficult to transfer. Quite often, the success or failure of commercialization depends on whether the original inventors, such as academic researchers, are involved in the process. These researchers often possess tacit knowledge that is critical to the success of the firms, such as the knowledge that is difficult to communicate, but which is complementary to the disclosed research results. Secondly, some level of learning capacity, also known as absorptive capacity, at the side of technology recipient is needed to ensure fruitful technology exchange. Policymakers are encouraged to strengthen the skills base for innovation and technology transfer so as to expand the number of individuals and firms that could successfully engage in technology transfer. The ability of countries to grow their economies in a globally competitive environment depends on their capacity and preparedness for strengthening innovation ecosystem and supporting technology transfer. Innovative entrepreneurs and innovation-driven small and medium-sized enterprises are one of the key players in innovation ecosystem and technology transfer, thus need to be supported by proper policy measures. Lastly, I would like to mention about Asian and Pacific Center for Transfer of Technology, APCTT, which I'm heading. APCTT is a regional institute of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, UNESCAP, established in 1977. We are based in New Delhi, India. Since our establishment in 1977, APCTT has been working with ESCAP member states in providing capacity building support to strengthen their national innovation systems and facilitating technology transfers. APCTT has been helping member states to create an enabling environment for the development and transfer of technology so that member countries can meet today's developmental challenge. APCTT has 3 strategic focus areas, namely support to strengthen science, technology, and innovation policy, facilitate cross-border technology transfer, and provision of technology-related information services. For example, during the last year, we have delivered tailor-made capacity building activities on science and technology parks, technology innovation transfer, and innovation for sustainable industrialization and development, reaching out over 1,400 stakeholders from 28 member countries. Under the technology transfer program, we contribute to strengthening the technology transfer capacity of policymakers in the areas of planning and managing technology transfer projects, renewable energy, and sustainable agriculture. APCTT has been publishing online technical periodicals and carrying an analytical studies of regional relevance to identify trends, highlight good policies and practices, and foster regional cooperation on science, technology, and innovation. Our flagship publication is Asia Pacific Tech Monitor, and we also issue value-added technology information service updates. So we are here to work with you and for your endeavor. I thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your informative words. I now invite our guest of honor, Professor Prabhat Ranjan, to deliver the keynote address.